Okay, hi guys, and welcome to this quick review of the BGVP DM8. BGVP are a Chinese company and they have been around for maybe 5 or 6 years creating earphones, and the DM8 version is going to be an 8-driver balanced armature. They use a combination of Knowles and Sonyon drivers, and I think they're using a 2 bass, 2 mids and 4 high configuration for those drivers. They've been around for a few years, BGVP, and they have, in my experience, produced sort of mixed results. They have a lot of good earphones, they have a lot of bad earphones, and they had some issues with quality control, I believe. So definitely not a company that I would blind buy. You know, when companies do the hype train and they create a sort of buzz around an earphone being released, these aren't one of the ones that I would sort of pre-order right away. These are one, and generally I just advise people to just wait a little bit, like maybe wait a month or so and see what people are saying about them, see what the impressions are. And that's what I would do with BGVP. Luckily, this DM8 version is actually quite a good earphone, you know, especially considering where you would have been sort of $300 for a multi-driver BA setup just a few years ago. This is quite impressive in those terms, but less so when you look at the whole sort of chi-fi thing as a whole. So let's talk about the accessories first, and then we'll get into the earphones, how they're built and how they sound. So you kind of get this when you're in the box. It's nice quality packaging, good presentation. Cable comes in here and you get the little tool. You get the carry case, which is just one of these generic puck style carry cases. I think I've seen this on Orvetti and a bunch of other earphones. It's the same case, exact same case. Good quality, it's just they changed the logo. But yeah, there's room for earphones, room for a couple of the adapters and some extra ear tips. Take these out because we'll want to talk about them in a second. The next thing up is the ear tips, and BGVP do an excellent job of supplying you with options for the ear tips. You get some vocal ear tips, small, medium, large, balanced ear tips, small, medium, large, and bass ear tips, small, medium, and large. And finally, you get one set of medium memory foam ear tips similar to the Comply style. Now, the difference between these is going to really be sort of the bore size and texture. These vocal tips are by far the comfiest and grippiest. I really like them in the medium, just in a comfort perspective, but I found that the sound best suited for me was the ones that actually came on the earphones, these pink ones. And because they weren't in any of these, I don't know if they're a vocal ear tip or mid-range ear tip, but these ones just comfort and sound sounded best to me. But it's nice that they give you lots of options and kind of a way to tune the sound as well. So the cable, let's get into the cable. The cable is excellent. Chinese cables are fantastic these days. I don't think it's the most attractive. I'm not a big fan of the brown. It's the one criticism I have of the Duno Hulk cable I have over there. But in terms of construction, it's just fantastic. You can see it's very pliable, it's very resistant to tangling, and it's just a nice cable. It doesn't hold a lot of memory. It's a little bit on the heavy side, but you can see if we do the wind test, that it's not too bad. It doesn't sit something as well as like the Linsol Euphrosyne cable. But to have this included, just as an example, this is the Litz cable that comes with Campfire Audio earphones, so $1,200 earphones, and that's a trash cable. That's a really bad cable. Whereas these are $300 earphones, and it comes with something like this. So that's a little bonus for you. They have, we'll go into the construction and we'll go from bottom to top. Good thing here, 2.5mm balanced adapter, so this is going to be best suited for somebody that has a standalone DAP. If you're using it straight at an iPhone or straight out a 3.5mm or something like that, you're you're going to want to use one of these adapters, which is quite good that they include them. So this is a 3.5mm adapter, and you just plug it on there, and it doesn't, you know, it's quite cumbersome in comparison to the way the Hulk system works. It's a lot smaller and sleeker, and you just pop these off. But this is a $400 cable, so this gives you the versatility. They're good quality, they're not cheap little add-ons. And you get the balance connector, the larger balance connector, and the 3.5mm connector to use in standard configuration. But just for me, this is perfect to use with one of these, which both have 2.5. But to be honest, I'm using the Thornray Honey H1, which only has the big balance connector and a standard 3.5mm. So I do find that I have to use one of these smaller adapters. Anyway, 2.5 balanced into a nice beefy metal BGVP branded connector, strain relief, excellent. Little cable tie that we see a lot on tin hi-fi stuff. It is a octo braid into quad braid, so very robust, very sturdy. You have a metal splitter, very beefy metal splitter, and a metal slider as well, or cable cinch, whatever you want to call it. Going into memory cable up at the top, keep them looped over the top of your ears, and it also provides the strain relief and a nice beefy MMCX connector on the top, labeled red and clear. So cable, excellent, really like it. Let me just wind it up properly. And I guess we're going to talk a little bit about the earphones and their construction before getting into the sound. The construction is good, and they're a very good looking set of earphones, but they're just an acrylic body, so it's not going to be as robust as something metal, obviously, and it doesn't have the density of sort of the way Fearless Audio earphones feel. They feel a little bit lighter, a little bit more sort of plasticky. But they are acrylic, and they are acrylic tipped as well, so it's not like something with a KZ which terminates with a metal nozzle on the end of it. They have put a little acrylic lip on it to help try and hold the ear tips on, but I did find that it's a little bit on the loose side in comparison, although it's not as bad as I've seen with other earphones. But with some of the tips, with the neutral tips, I did find that they were a lot easier to just come off inside your ears. MMCX connector, I think everybody by this point knows how I feel about that. That's my preferred type of connector. Little venting port it looks like up there. And if we can bring this in. And the thing that I really like about these is that you can just see all the details, all the intricacies, the driver configuration, the bore holes, the dampening filters, everything on the inside, the little circuit boards. It's just a beautiful little earphone to actually sit here and look at. You've got the BGVP DM8 faceplate with the silver, and I think it looks really good, constructed really well. Don't have a criticism. Don't be dropping them on the floor because they're not metal, and acrylic is prone to chipping. In the ear, ergonomically, perfect little earphone, super comfortable. With the ear tips on, it's quite a deep bore hole, and it sits just past medium for me, which I really like, and the outside of the earphone sits flush with my ear, and they're quite small for having 8 drivers in them. Very small earphone, kind of disappears, and super lightweight. I mean, this versus this, it shouldn't be compared, but it's quite a noticeable difference. I would say 2.5, 3 times the weight on this one. So very comfortable earphone. You can wear these all day, no problem. So sound is pretty much just what I expected from a balanced earphone, to be honest. They have excellent imaging, excellent detail retrieval, and they're fairly neutral. There's no like fight for supremacy in the tuning. I would say mid-focused, surprisingly impactful bass, but not sub-bass impactful. But for a balanced armature, it's surprisingly impactful. Now, don't compare that to something like a hybrid with an actual dynamic driver inside it. That's going to give you more of the actual impact. But in terms of balanced armatures, it has good, solid bass performance. You're going to lack that sub-bass rumble, but just because balanced armatures don't have the volume of air moving through your ear canal, and it just doesn't affect the pressure in that way. But what you do get is a very detailed and textured, layered bass performance with quite nice matching between the sub-bass presentation and the mid-bass presentation, as opposed to like the quantity. There's a noticeable drop off in mid-bass quantity to sub-bass quantity, but in terms of resolution, there's a very nice matching there. Zero bleed into the mid-range from the lows, which is very nice to see. The mids are neutral, analytical, I would say, like on the analytical side. They've got a smoothness to them, but overall the thing that you're going to notice when you're really focusing on the mids is the detail retrieval. They have very good detail retrieval and very good spacing and imaging. Especially surprisingly worked well with sort of acoustic instrumentation and even male vocals. The upper mid-range had slight peaks in female vocals in certain flute sections that I was hearing, but overall just a very cohesive earphone from top to bottom. The highs are smooth with a very slight roll off at the top. No sort of perception. You're going to have to excuse if you can hear this construction in the background. Yeah, they just have a really nice smooth presentation to them, and you're not going to get any sort of over the top sibilance issues and stuff like that here, and it does contribute quite well to the sound stage. It's quite expansive. So before this construction gets too much, and this is a real problem that I'm having here trying to film these videos in Medellin, Colombia, is that the construction is absolutely crazy outside just now, because they've tried to get all these projects done for in case they go into another quarantine in the next couple of weeks, and we do have quarantine at 5 p.m. at night now. So yeah, that's the BGVP DM8. I'm going to do a comparison video, I think, with the C Audio Yumi, the Mezi Audio, is it the cheaper Rise, possibly the SimGot EN700, or anything else that you guys want to see me do a comparison video with. I'll put that together for you. Are these going to beat something like the Tin Hi-Fi P1? No. Are they a good priced balanced armature? Yes, definitely. $300 for something like this is excellent quality, good build, very comfortable, excellent accessories, really nice cable, balanced. Yeah, can definitely recommend these, get behind these if you like a pure balanced armature sound, detailed. And yeah, let's hope BGVP keep it going with this, because this is more impressive than any of the other earphones from them that I've tried to date. So thanks for watching, and I'll get back to you with the comparison video soon.